What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight, and this is the Rule of Three on Chaos Central and the Real Review 3000. It's good to see you guys. Let's see here, guys. We're just going to jump into this. Eli Hoo, how you doing? Yes, you're lurking in the shadows. How about that? Okay, so we got some good topics today. We have put all new topics, so we're not going to get any crossovers or anything like that. So we got that all out of the way. But let's just go ahead and jump in here, and let's start by telling everybody who we are. Start with you, Danny. Go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
Excuse me.
Oh.
I am Danny. Oh, that one also coughed. I couldn't get that thing out my throat.
Oh, there it is. Good.
Yeah. I am Danny, aka Comic Chat. I'm all over YouTube. Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and of course Wednesday nights at night. You can see me on Chaotic Conversation, Chaos List, and the Rule of Three. Also later in the week, you can see me on Square One, which is a sports show. Sports is starting to heat up. Also, you can see me on Equilibrium that we do on Sundays. We're going to change the time. Also, 4 nights out the week, probably catch me on Robert Storms. And more or less, I'm hanging out with these guys. We're doing our thing on the Chaos Conversation, on the Chaos Central website. We're trying to get the Vanity tag, you said? I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I
it
think
is.
we're about 70 now, if I'm not mistaken. So please subscribe.
That's
It only
good.
takes 1 second. And listen to our content. We try to entertain, bring you entertaining information, and stimulate positive conversation. So thanks for joining us.
Indeed. All right, up next, Nzo of Biggaford Entertainment. Nzo, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found.
What's up, people? You know the channel, like I said, is Biggaford Entertainment. We got all these shows that we do. We try to make you guys have some fun entertainment. And just wanted to say that I'm probably gonna be continuing doing that little bonus topic on my show the other day. I actually liked the end conversation of it. Then he's shaking his head, but I really liked it because my thing is, it's not always going to be racial or anything like that, but it'll probably be something with current events, you know what I mean? And if it happens to be something racially, it's like we have a device panel, we can all learn from each other. So that has nothing to do with, trying to, hate anybody or get mad at anybody. It's like I said, we can learn from each other. So that's what I want to do. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and let's get going.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. So, as usual, the rule of three is very simple. We have a wheel of topics. We all have donated 3 topics to the wheel, and the wheel picks them out at random. We each get 3 minutes to talk about it, and 3 minutes as a complete panel to talk about it, hash out our differences, or talk about why we agree. Very simple. That's why we call it the rule of three. It's that's just kind of how it goes. So we're going to go ahead and share the wheel, and we are going to spin for our first topic.
Oh, we got sound on the wheel again today, guys. Wow.
What was that?
I said we got sound on the wheel again. Oh,
yeah,
look at it. First one is mine.
Yes, indeed. All right. It was said that Passion of the Christ would be the biggest movie in film history. Now, what are your thoughts of them making a Passion of the Christ 2? That is the question. We're going to put 3 minutes. First off, we'll remove that. We have 3 minutes up on our timer. And who wants to start this? Nzo, it's your question. You want to start?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, 3 minutes, and your time starts now.
Okay. Well, the guy that said that was the actor. I can't remember what his name is. The guy that played. Pardon me?
Mel Gibson?
About
no, not Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's the director. The guy that played Christ.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, whatever his name is. It supposedly was him that said that it was going to be the biggest movie in history. Now, if he's talking about box office, I don't see that happening. You know what I mean? I liked the first Passion of Christ. I really thought it was a great movie, but I don't think it'll beat Avengers, Titanic, or any of those top movies. I just don't.
Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Caviezel.
Caviezel, yeah, some crap like that. I personally don't think it will be um a like beat any of those movies in the box office. But if he's talking about like historic and what they plan to do in the movie, then maybe that could be definitely possible. I'm personally, on my opinion, I think that they shouldn't make a part two. I liked part one, right? Part one was basically history. Part two, I guess, is supposed to be him coming back and whatever, which is, I mean, it could be a good story, but it's like it hasn't happened, right? We haven't seen the Lord come back to Earth yet, or anything like that, or whatever. So I'm not
Hmm.
exactly sure
No,
what.
I think they're talking about him after the third day coming back.
Yeah, I think I would think that that's where the natural pickup from the first movie would
Yeah,
be, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, okay,
Not the
Hmm.
rapture. He coming back.
okay. Well, I'm like I said, I had this is my first time hearing about it, so he was like, "Let me get a topic out there." So I got that one out. So I don't really know much about what their plans with the movie are, but personally, like I said, I don't know. Some movies don't need to have a sequel to it, and I'm really not sure if this one needs to have one. But at the same time, hey, man, I'll go see it. I'll definitely watch it. I'll check it out. If I'm not mistaken, Mel Gibson is directing it again.
Okay.
So, yeah, hey, man, I think Mel Gibson's a pretty good director. Like a lot of the movies that he's actually directed were really good. So, I'm willing to see it. You know what I mean? I'm willing to take a chance on it. Do I think it's needed? Absolutely not. But at the same time, there's a lot of movies where we have sequels to that are needed. So I'm definitely interested in checking it out.
Awesome. 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 Okay. So we will just reset this. 3 minutes is on the board for you, Danny, and your time starts now.
I'm kind of with Hanzo. I'm not sure. I'm kind of in the middle. If it comes out, I'll probably watch it. The first one was very good. It was hard to watch, especially certain parts.
Mhm.
Um, if they're gonna do that, he was buried in a rose in 3 days. That would be something good. I don't think I've ever seen that story actually done in detail. So if they do that, because they read the Bible, they doing those 3 days. Um, he went to hell. Um, did whatever he did down there. I remember the story correctly in the Bible. I know my dad probably kicked my butt. He's a preacher. But I think when he did that, and then came back just to prove to the world, to prove to the devil that the grave could not hold him. So if they show that, I wouldn't be mad to see it because one of my favorite movies is The Ten Commandments. I think that's one of the
Mm.
best movies ever done on a biblical scale in the story. So if they do something grand like that, or the story is good, I'm sure because they have the ultimate source material, so they shouldn't be able to get it wrong. Sometimes in movies, the director likes to embellish and do things.
Mhm.
There was a story about Noah's Ark. If I'm not mistaken, William Vaught played Noah, and it came on. It was very controversial. It came on a few years ago on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful with what you do. There was some controversy about when what's the guy that played Gladiator? Um,
Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe played Noah. Uh, so you got to be very careful how you do that because, especially in the part of the country where I live at, it's big time Bible Belt. So a lot of those shows they'll do petitions and do things to get it canceled or so as long as they treat it with respect that I think that the Bible deserves because I am a believer and it should be done that way because we live in a world now that everybody wants to be treated fairly. Everybody wants um, to have their rights. So the same way certain lifestyles have a certain right, I think that the religious lifestyle should have just as much right to it too. Just as long as it's done in a respectful way, um, I have no issue with them doing it. But I think we live in a world now where um, superhero movies, sci-fi movies are on top. They're gonna be on top for a while. But like I said, Mel Gibson do it. he has a good reputation for the more religious type movies, then I would definitely be open to see it as long as it's done correctly. If he's done something crazy or director embellishes on something, then I may not watch it.
Okay, very good. Let's see here. 3 minutes on the board for me. We'll just go now. And all right, I hadn't heard of this yet. Not that, I don't know if it had been on my radar or not. I watched the first one. I agree with Danny. I think it was designed to be tough to watch. If you're Christian, and if you're not, fine, whatever. But if you're Christian, our faith is based off the fact that Jesus suffered for us. And I don't want to go religious here, but that's just how Christianity looks at it. That he suffered to take our sins, and so we could be forgiven. So I think watching that and having the uncomfortable feeling of watching it with as graphic as it was spot on to how they should have done it. So a lot of people criticized it for that. I don't, because that's how it should be. The second one, the only way I could see it working is that it stays very true to, in this case, biblical history. The first part of the first movie is very much written history. We know that Jesus survived. I mean, we know that Jesus existed. We know that Jesus went through these trials. We know all this happened. Depending on what you believe, if Jesus didn't rise on the third day, then this movie is going to be biblical history. Either way, Mel Gibson did a great job in the first movie. I think this movie will be the same way. I think he'll be as accurate as he possibly can. Who was the actor who played Jesus?
Jim Caviezel.
And is he Arab or something like that?
No, he's American.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. That's my only thing is that lots
He's the
of
guy.
times.
Remember that movie? He had a lunar fall on his hat, on his head.
Oh, yeah.
Keep the Martian to read his mind.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's hard for, I'll say it, white people to understand that Jesus was not a Caucasian person. When you get historical, you got to kind of make sure people understand that. And I mean, I know it's been a point of contention for a lot of people when, you see this blonde hair, blue-eyed man in pictures depicted as Jesus. But I think they made him look the part. I think they made it look very accurate. And I would be very eager to see the rising after the third day done in the same format, in the same I don't want to say documentary, but very realistic. I mean, not, because a lot of these stories are told like children's stories and cartoon or hand drawings. I mean, seeing it really puts weight to it, especially with the first one. So that's kind of what I think. 3 minutes for all of us to talk. Let's go.
I am so glad you said that part about him not being Caucasian.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, because growing up my whole life, that's and as far as I know, in my church currently, the church that I belong to, I believe it's a blonde hair, blue eyed Caucasian man. I mean, I kind of scoff at that. I mean, I'm not scoffing at Jesus. I'm scoffing at the fact that American Christians, for the most part, have whitewashed Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way or in a blasphemous way.
When you control a certain aspect of myth and folklore, and you telling a story, of course you're going to tell it in a way that is going to be comfortable for you. Just like if you go to a white person's home, those white people home, they may have a picture of Jesus and it will look like them. I have gone to black people's home. I've seen the Black Last Supper. I've seen the black Jesus. I've gone to certain people's house. I've seen the black Santa Claus. So that stuff doesn't really push my needle one way or the other. It's just when you're telling a story, you're going to tell it to something that people you're talking to can relate. And in your mind, or we may see Jesus as whatever. In Anzo's mind, my mind, we may see him as what we're going to relate to. So I'm not really mad at the fact about that because I think a lot of people are going to get mad when they do go to heaven because I don't think heaven is going to be segregated. So a lot of people
Oh no, no,
that
no, it
feel
won't be.
down here, if they're lucky enough to make it, it's going to be like, oh, okay. So
So yeah, I mean, I understand where you're going with that. What I mean more to the point is that in a movie like this, when you're really trying to be historically accurate, it's very important that you don't do that. This takes place in the Middle East, and they're not. They are
Yes.
not straight white, and they're a mix. I mean, and I don't know how to explain it better. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just stating they are not Caucasian, and it's very important when you're historically accurate to do the best job you can with the actor you have to make that very apparent. And they did a good job in this movie. You couldn't. I mean, he may be. Like I said, I'm wondering if he has some Arab descent in him or not because he looked very much
Arab,
the part.
yeah, you did.
Okay, and see, that's what I was going with is that they picked the right guy. So if he's back on board, I'm all on board for it too. So that's where I was going with that. But
No, and I agree with that. My only thing with what Danny is saying is, if I'm not mistaken, in the Bible they do explain God with woolly hair and big nose. You know what I mean? So
indeed.
it don't get a big nose part, but it talks about his hair and his feet.
his fairness, yes, or not his nose. My bad.
The color of his skin.
Yeah, not his nose. My bad.
All right.
Oh.
Yes, this was a good one. I saw this. I was like, ooh, man, I don't know. Okay, this is Danny's question. So we're going to go ahead and let Danny take a stab at it first. 3 minutes is on the board. Let's go ahead and start, Danny. Go.
These are two of my favorite franchises. I fell in love with each first version of each franchise. When I first saw Riddick, I was like, "Oh man, I've never seen nobody like this." And I mean, this sucker cool under pressure, but nothing seemed to phase him. If you get it in a little sticky place, he can quickly assess the situation and figure stuff out, and do whatever you do. Then when you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and his whole cast, Jesse the Body Ventura, they went there, man, into that hostile environment. Only one man came out, but I mean, they gave him their best fight. To me, I don't even think that was the best one. I like the second one best because it was different. I know we, the fans, already knew what Predator was, but that team in Las Vegas, Danny Glover didn't have any idea. So I think I kind of like the urban setting more so than the jungle setting. But both of them are 1A, 1B. And I like Predators. A lot of people don't like Predators, but I thought it was good. Now, the rest of them after that, not so much. If I had to guess which one was the best, I'm leaning more towards Riddick because I like all three of the Riddick shows. I thought all three of them was the good. Not so much all of the Predator franchises were not good. The Alien versus Predator and Predator Requiem, and that last one was totally, I won't say heart garbage, but it was damn warm garbage. So if I had to pick one based on the success of the whole franchise, I have to go towards Riddick because all three of them, I'm not sure what the money Riddick made, but I know Riddick has a very strong cult following. I think that the Predator franchise is losing some steam, and they gotta definitely come back. This next Predator has to be a success. If not, people are gonna stop. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to ask with
this next Predator has to be a success because if not, I think they're going to lose more of their fans. As each movie goes around after the third one, I think they lose fans. But I think now people are in anticipation, or at least I am, of seeing this new Riddick that's coming out. So I definitely think Vin Diesel has stumbled onto something. He is Riddick. He is that franchise. But we can see in Predator that there's interchangeable parts. But so far, there's not an interchangeable part. Vin Diesel is that steady force that drives Riddick. So as long as he's able to do it, then I'm going to be Team Riddick.
Oh, look at what Dandelion Fluff states. The original movies of each were incredible, but if I looked at the entire catalog of films, I'd go with Predator. Pick a single film, I'd go with Pitch Black. Interesting. Okay, so Predator series, you're going with Predator, Predator 2, Predators, AVP, Requiem, right?
I don't know what the last one was. I can't think what the last one was.
Last one was Predator.
Was it?
The Predator?
That was called Predator.
Yeah, the last one, they had that Super Predator. He was like what we found out in the last one is they built it all across the galaxies. And they picked the best parts of whatever civilization they conquer. And his last one, he was trying to conquer this boy that was autistic. I don't know how that's exactly what they were saying.
I haven't seen that one, but
you gotta check it out. They got like this Super Predator. This sucker like 10 feet tall, 400 something pounds, and he's a damn handful.
Yeah. All right. Nzo, here you go. 3 minutes on the board. Time starts now.
Boom. All right. So I'm going to have to say, first off, I like this question. It's a very good topic. In my personal opinion, I'm going with the Predators because the first Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't think there's a Riddick movie that's better than that one. The second movie with Danny Glover, I think is better than the original Predator. That's my choice, my opinion. So I don't think there's a Riddick movie that's better than that. Now, like Dandelion Fluff said, if you put them all together, Riddick does have 3 great movies. The third one's okay. You know what I mean? I think the third one was more of a rehash of Pitch Black. Pitch Black. But Pitch Black for me was the best out of the franchise. I like Chronicles of Riddick. I really do. I even like the animated short that they made too. I like that. But for me, I think the first Riddick was well done. You know, I liked the lore of it. But when it comes to a franchise in whole, for me, it's always been the Predator. Like I've just from Arnold Schwarzenegger's Predator, I was just like, oh my God, this movie is so good. I like the lore of the Predator. I like the fact that he was coming down and he was a hunter, you know, but not only was he a hunter, he had morals. Like, you know, he wouldn't kill anybody that didn't have a gun or show any aggression to him. Even in the second one where the woman was pregnant, he didn't kill her because she was having a baby, you know. So for me, the Predators, when they came to Earth, it was more about the hunt than the game. Whatever they did in the last one, I won't count that one either. And even the one where they went to the planet, I was like, wasn't a big fan of that one either. So for me, it's with the Predator franchise, it's 2 I like and 2 I don't. It's just that the fact that the first 2 that I like, I really like them. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a better Riddick movie than those first 2 movies. But I hope they do get back. I don't ever remember hearing of another Predator movie coming out.
They're talking about it.
They're talking about it?
Well, either that or Disney Plus series.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it to go on Disney Plus. If you're going to do a Predator, I think you do it in a movie. I just think they need to stop with all this, like trying to, you know, go back to original, go back to the way it was. The hunter coming down, you know what I mean? And him finding a valuable or a viable or whatever, someone to fight, you know what I mean? Like he did with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like he did with Danny Glover, and have it like that, a one-on-one battle of wits and skill and who's stronger. You know what I mean? They try to add too much. They put in this Predator fucking costume that now they have, Predator killer suit or whatever in the last one. And I'm just like, okay, all of that is not needed. You know what I mean? Just give us a Predator movie, what a Predator movie is supposed to be. You can get good actors, actresses, whatever, and you can still make it good. So I'm going with Predators.
Okay. I'm looking here at something here.
I want to see them do that Predator killer armor. They gotta clean up the CGI. But the
I don't
concept,
want to. Yeah, go ahead.
concept interests me.
All
I
right.
don't want to see anything done with that. I didn't like that at all.
And which one?
The last Predator, where
Last
they
one.
had the Predator armor.
The Predator.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the thing about that last one, before you start, is there were
Mhm.
so many rumors that was supposed to be like Ripley. There was
Oh, I'd heard.
there was another rumor where it's supposed to be something else and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, no, we don't need none of that.
All right, so I have to look at this kind of analytically. So you got, I'd say 3, maybe 4 Alien movies, or not Alien, but Predator movies that are decent, 2 that are great.
You got
And I'm
six
and I'm
total.
yeah, I know what I mean is that you got
5 total.
what I mean is you got, I count 4 as decent or great. So you got the first 2 I consider great. The Predators was all right, and AVP was okay. The Requiem one I didn't like, and I have not seen the other one. So there's 6 movies altogether. And when I look at Riddick, there's Pitch Black, The Chronicles of Riddick, and then Riddick. And they have a 4th one that, as of July of last year, according to Vin Diesel, they have a script for. And he owns the rights to that. So let's go with that first off. You got one guy who owns the rights to the Riddick film series because they believe in it so much, and that's Vin Diesel. So I think that helps that series more because at least everything stays coherent and cohesive for the most part. Because you got one guy with the vision that he wants on screen. Predators has suffered from a lot of different people adding their own take to it. The first 2 movies are very much very similar. I don't know about the newest one. I don't know if it follows a similar pattern. Predators was the one with the planet, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
The Predators drop them on the planet.
Yeah, and okay, it was an interesting concept.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike it. AVP, the first one was like, okay, interesting concept. It's got its places that it's really good. But then Requiem was just like, eh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bunch of explosions.
Yeah. So I'd have to say that I would pick Riddick on this because even though the third one, like Nzo said, is kind of just a rehash, it's still fundamentally all 3 movies are relatively good. I don't think there's a major falling out like you got with AVP Requiem and again, it stays consistent on the idea of what's going on. So fundamentally speaking, from a whole franchise, which I believe we're talking about, I'd say Riddick. I love the first 2 Predator movies though, and if they had stayed right around there, I would have. I mean, those 2 beat anything Riddick's ever come up with, I think. But that's besides the point. So 3 minutes. So Danny, you were Riddick,
Yes, I am.
and Nzo, you were Predator.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
One thing I like about Pitch Black is 20 years old and it still holds up.
Yeah, no, indeed. I remember when that first came out, I was like, "What's this?" And then the second one came out, and I was like, "Is this the same thing?" Because rarely had at that time had Vin Diesel really committed to sequels and stuff. And then when I found out that this was the same thing with the Fast and Furious series, he's bought the rights to it. Him and Paul Walker owned the rights to Fast and Furious. When Paul Walker died, he let his daughter take over his rights and his shares, but committed himself to making sure that series stayed successful for his daughter's sake.
Predator is 33 years old. Does it still hold up to y'all?
Yes.
The first one, yes, absolutely.
First 2, both 2.
Yes, they do. And I think the first one, why it holds up is because it's in the jungle and there's just nothing there that absolutely ages it. The second one's pretty much the same thing. It's an urban environment, and you can still find those. Huh?
It came out in 90.
Yeah. But I like both movies. I like both concepts. The fact that Disney Plus has mentioned, or Disney has mentioned doing it, it always bothers me because if they stay with this PG-13 crap, I don't think you can do a Predator movie with PG-13. I just don't. So that bothers me.
And I kind of on the level of you, like I've seen the first two. They really hold up, and I really like those two movies. And again, the first Alien versus Predator, I forgot about that one mentioning. I liked it. I didn't think it was all that great. Second one was trash, like you said. I don't know. For me, I just find
Predator
like
is 10 years old. Does it hold up to you guys though?
which one?
The third one.
The third one, the third Predator.
Yeah, Predator.
Yeah, they all hold up. Yeah, they all hold up. They all hold up. I mean, if you're talking about like effects and everything,
You what?
I don't
he
think
chipped out.
Alien versus Predators.
Yeah, no, it ages well too. I mean, even when you watch the end and you see that big alien at the end, man, that still looks sick today. You know what I mean? It's just my issue isn't the way they look or hold up with the last ones. It's the stories that they told. I didn't think the stories were all that great. You know what I mean? I get
when they took AVP, that story was interesting. I just think they took some missteps.
it was
I don't think
interesting.
I don't think the Xenomorphs is stronger than the Predators. I don't.
It depends, man. That mother alien, that mother xenomorph, man, the queen.
I don't believe. They got too much tech. Too much
Hey,
tech.
Dandelion Fluff has solved this for us. We need a Riddick versus Predator. That might actually be a crazy movie to
That
put
would
together.
be.
That'd be awesome.
Or a Riddick movie versus the aliens, because if you watch Pitch Black, it's kind of like the aliens, right? So imagine Riddick going up against the aliens. I would like either one of those.
Killing damn things that seems unkillable.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. So we each got a topic in today with Tom Brady, and where did the D go? My God, it was there.
Tom Brady.
Brady.
Oh, we got a sports question. Let's do it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm into sports, so I mean, whatever. It's current event stuff.
That's what I'm saying. But now that I know, next week we'll get them.
All right. With Tom Brady and Cam Newton, or both Tom Brady and Cam Newton are 1-1 in their first two starts with their new teams. What is your prediction for their win-loss at the end of the season? Your answer will be saved for a continuing question at the end of the year. Yes. So who would like to jump at this first?
I'll start.
All right. I'm going to put the 3 minutes up. Make sure it's full size. And here we go. 3 minutes on the board, and your time starts now.
Yes. And since we got a sports question now, we do square one and we love this shit. I just got to say right off the back before I get into this topic, Lakers lost last night, baby. So let's go Denver. Let's tie this series up and then take it home. Now, Tom Brady and Cam Newton are both 1-1.
Go Spurs.
Whatever. Next year. Tom Brady and Cam Newton are both 1-1, which was kind of predicted that it would happen. I thought maybe the Patriots could have started off 2-0, but as for the records, I'm gonna say Tampa Bay is gonna go 11-5, and I'll give New England 10-6. And this is just a prediction without even looking at the schedules. So if I go and look at their schedules, I might have a little bit different.
You want time? You want time to go look at the schedules first?
No, I'll do it after when one of you guys are going. You know what I mean?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. And if I feel like it's changing, I'll
give you
know.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you got to say about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
I will say that Cam Newton looks a lot better than I thought he would look. And to be honest with you, when I watched the game against Seattle, I mean, he was doing his work. The only reason why they lost that game is because of that stupid call at the end. I am sorry. That was a bad play call. But Seattle, the drive before that, huh?
a superior quarterback.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, you got to go with the team's defense, and if team defense is pretty good at the run, and you're on the 1 yard line, I think you try to pass that ball in there first. Maybe have a little play action pass there or something. Tom Brady did a pretty good job. I didn't watch the game, but I seen he still had a pick. You know what I mean? So Tom Brady is looking okay. It's just his age. He's showing his age a lot in these first two games. We'll see how it is when he gets a better chemistry with his team right now. But at the same time, I mean, I'm really liking the way Cam Newton's looking. And even before that play with Cam Newton, Seattle made a similar stupid play where they were down. It was like 4th and 1, and they tried to pass it with Russell Westbrook. And I'm like, come on, 4th and 1, run the ball. You know what I mean? If that's what you're
That's Pete Carroll's MO, bro.
Yeah, I know, but it's horrible. It's really a bad call. You don't pass that ball. Did you not learn what happened in the Super Bowl? So yeah, I'm gonna go search for the records and see who their schedules are. But I think I'll probably stick with my original.
Okay. All right, Danny, your turn. 3 minutes on the board. Your time starts now.
The win loss is gonna be hard. I don't really have a clue. I really don't. I think that if Cam Newton listens to Belichick and he can get dialed back in like he was his MVP year and reestablish his confidence and get chemistry with at least what's the little guy named little slot receiver Edelman. If he gets chemistry with Edelman, I think that they could be very dangerous. Traditionally, they've always had a pretty stout defense, so I think they're going to have a top 10 defense. If Belichick has anything to do with it. Tom Brady, I believe, what I was going to say, he's starting to show a little bit of his age. I don't know if he has the correct chemistry. I think this is his second game. I think so far out of 2 games, he doesn't have 3 interceptions, if my memory serves correct. So that's not Tom Brady-esque. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say, is it 16 games?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say 10-6 for New England, and maybe 9-7 for Tampa Bay. I think Tom Brady is not gonna be clutch like we've seen him in the past. I think that his mortality is gonna show. And this may possibly be his last year. If he doesn't make it, for Tampa Bay in Tom Brady's mind, I think it's Super Bowl or bust. If he don't make it to the Super Bowl and he sees that Belichick is thriving without him, then I think he may just say, okay, the hell with it. His main man, I think he brought with him, is not producing at all. Gronk, I don't know what Gronk is doing. Gronk's on my fantasy football team, but he's sitting on the bench. And he ain't. What I've seen, he won't be on the field, not on my team, unless I ain't got nobody else to put on there. So I think Superman may be getting ready to leave the building. He hasn't left it yet, but I think he's looking at the side door pretty hard. And if he doesn't have a good season in his mind, this may be the last season that we see Tom Brady. And I think he's the GOAT. It's kind of hard to say it, but he is the GOAT. So before I tarnish that title, if I was him, I would go ahead and just buy out. Kind of like how what's the boy? Oh God, the guy for that won Super Bowl and retire.
Oh, Jordan what?
No, the player for the Colts.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. Winning it, but once he won it, he took his ass home. So that's what I think I would do.
Did he win 2 with Broncos?
Won one with the Colts, one with the Broncos.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
He's the only quarterback.
Sorry, one with the
He's the only one that's won for two different teams.
yes.
Only quarterback. Yep.
Huh.
And
I think Brady's trying to do that too.
Yeah. Well.
and
All right.
hold on before you start. For Tampa Bay, I got them 11-5.
Yep. That's where it's what you had him at. You staying 10-6 and 11-5.
Hold on, I'm looking at the Patriots now, so go on with yours and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'm saying
All right.
I'm saying 9 with
9-7 for Tampa and 10-6 for Patriots.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. I will go through first off and explain my reasonings for where I'm going to end up at here. First off, with the Patriots, Cam Newton looks great. There's a couple problems. One being this proves Bill Belichick, and it was not him. I don't think it was Tom Brady. I think it was the mix of the two, because it was the worst decision in the world on that last play to call the same thing you did the scoring drive before. They were ready for it. Not even ready for it. They were on top of it. So I just don't think that he's going to be able to mastermind his way through this. Second thing is that Cam Newton's been a beast on the ground right now. That doesn't bode well for him. He's an older quarterback. He is bound to get hurt again. He has had injury problems. If he goes down, the Patriots go down. That's my thought process on that. Now, Tom Brady, yeah, he's showing his age. 3 interceptions, 2 interceptions, whatever it is. And then you add in the fact that Gronk just does not look right. He is not in line with his routes. They say, oh, he's still learning. This is a guy that has so much NFL experience, has been in number of Super Bowls and stuff. If he isn't getting the playbook yet, it's time to admit that you shouldn't have come back, which I don't think he should have. I just don't see Tom Brady lifting that team to the playoffs even. I have them both at 8-8 at best, and maybe 7-9 each, because I look at it and I know right now the Bills are 2-0. That's a contender that Patriots are going to have to go against. Patriots also have the Ravens, and they have the Texans, and they have us. I don't think that they can beat any of those teams. That's 5 right there off the bat that they're going to lose. They're already at 1-1. That's 6 losses. You're going to tell me they're going to win the other 9? I don't think so. I'm
they
just
only
playing.
played the Bills once.
I thought they're NFC East. They play them near the end of the year, if I remember right.
Yeah, they do. They have 1 game against the Bills. I'm looking at the schedule
They
now.
got 2, I think.
Oh, no, they're actually 2. You're right.
Yeah, because they're AFC East. So the Bills are right now 2-0. So, I mean, I'm thinking they're playing pretty decent. Not great, just decent. I think Tampa Bay has the Bears. The Bears, while they're not sexy, they've been playing good. They have Green Bay. They have the Saints again, which, depending on how that goes, Drew Brees kind of showed his age this past week, but he didn't have his go-to receivers. And Drew Brees thrives off of not one receiver. He thrives off of multiple receivers. So as long as they come back, I think that they'll be okay. But I have them both at 8-8 at best. And I said this all year long after, because before the year started, I looked at these and I said, I just think that they're 8-8. I don't think Cam Newton is bad. I think he looks really great for starting, but I'm just afraid of how much he's running there. And they didn't even think twice to have him run a second time, and he was piled on pretty bad. So let's talk about this. 3 minutes on the board. I mean, again, I think if anywhere it goes down to 7-9, but it could go up to 9-7 for both. There's those toss-up games in there, but I don't think there's a lot of give-me's for either of these teams, and neither of these teams are stacked like the Patriots are not like what they used to be. The best thing going for Cam Newton right now is that Edelman is still there, and they have a decent running game around him, not just him, but he personally has taken it upon himself to run.
Mm-hmm.
And
Danny, I almost got rid of Edelman. I had him in my fantasy league. I had him in my fantasy league, and I dropped Edelman because he didn't do shit. And then I seen what he did in the last game, and I was like, holy shit! And I picked him right back up, bro.
Yeah, right now
The argument I have about Cam Newton running too much. In 2018, when he had to play his last full year, the Panthers O line was ranked 21. This year, he's behind a top 10 O line, and they're ranked number 9. So I think they're going to give Cam more protection than what he got in Carolina, because the lack of protection put on top of he just came off of that Super Bowl loss, kind of shook his confidence. So I think now Belichick is going to build him up, because Belichick is just as motivated as he is, because he wants to prove that he was the driving force and not Tom Brady. So Belichick is going to put on his, to me, he's going to put him in an offense that's conducive to his skills, and that's going to be best for Cam. Also, like I said, Cam Newton is now behind a number 9 O-line, which is going to give him better protection versus the 21 ranked O-line he was under Ron Rivera. I don't think Ron Rivera, he kind of like he lost faith in Cam also, because it was press conference when he was saying negative, kind of slick out the mouth stuff. So you can't have, we all know that quarterbacks are very temperamental, got very thin skin, and maybe Cam is even worse. So I think Belichick is going to try and build him up, put him in an offense that's going to showcase his skills, and I think he's going to do his best to try and prove that he is mastermind and not Brady.
Okay. All right. And he might do that. But let me ask you this. Was it the right call at the end of that game?
I'm not talking about that particular call.
Well, no, I'm asking you. That is not a typical Belichick call. Why did they call that?
I think maybe Belichick is trying to take more chances than normal now, because
that is not Belichick's game. That is how he played in Cleveland, and that was a disastrous
that is not his normal game. But now it is he's not only competing on the field, he's competing with ego. I'm sick of fucking Tom Brady. I wanted him gone. Daddy Robert Kraft and say, I want to stay. So now Belichick is trying to prove to the world and to Robert Kraft, I know what the hell I'm doing. This is my team. I can win without Brady. So I think that may skew his normal whatever skill. I'm just saying a theory.
That isn't a bad theory, but here's the problem. That is not how Bill Belichick has won, 6 Super Bowls? Here's the thing. I watched some of that game against. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I watched some of that game against Seattle, and I watched it, and I'm sitting there watching how Cam Newton was playing when he was throwing and stuff, and I was like, this looks like when Tom Brady was in there. Why change it? Because Tom Brady is about the same age. They're both older quarterbacks, and Cam Newton is a little more mobile, but I don't think Cam Newton was doing good in the pocket. Why break what you've done? Because I think Cam Newton would thrive in the same system that he had Tom Brady in, except for one thing. I don't think Cam Newton is as good at an audible as Tom Brady was.
Tom Brady is 43. Cam Newton is 31.
Okay, I'm way off then. I'm sorry. But that's why he's more mobile, obviously. But I think Cam Newton suffers from the fact that he's been injured several times, and I think his ego, or not his ego, but his
confidence.
His confidence can get broken very easily.
I don't know. Get broken very easily.
You play an MVP year, you go to the Super Bowl, you like a shit sandwich. The next year, everybody cracking you upside your head. Some of it you brought on your own because you're doing this dap and shit and pissing people off. So he had to mature over that. And then when they cracking on him, he got hurt. He lost his confidence. The coach lost confidence in him. If you go back and listen to Ron Rivera's interviews, he's saying this slick shit. That kind of did something to Cam. Now I think he's in an offense now that's used to winning. He's put a coach that's used to winning, that's teaching him. He wants to learn, and the coach is doubly motivated for him to succeed because he want to beat the shit out of Tom Brady. So I think we just sit back, relax, that they're going to be better than Tampa Bay.
I think that Belichick changing how he coaches is a horrible idea. I think he has a plug-and-play offense. He's shown it with his wide receivers. He's shown it with his running backs. I don't think it would matter. It has to be a talented quarterback that knows what they're doing, but I don't think it relied as much on Tom Brady, except for when you talk about audibles. But I will say this, last year in the playoffs, Tom Brady looked beatable beyond a doubt. And he still looks beatable beyond a doubt this year. Cam Newton of the two looks like he could still make something happen. And you putting it out 12 years difference, so that should be the case. But again, Cam Newton, it's a lot about his confidence, like you said. So I don't see why Bill Belichick should change his coaching style. And that final play last week really made me question how Belichick is going to coach this. So again, I don't think the New England way was just Belichick. I think it was Brady and Belichick together. And I think without Brady there, it doesn't work in the same way. So that's why I think it's going to happen 8-8 for both of them.
I'm looking at the schedule and I see every game on the schedule for them is winnable. Like maybe they have the Ravens once, they have the Bills twice, and even the Bills, I think they go 1-1 against the Bills, right? Then we got Dolphins, we got Jets, we got the Chargers.
Jets and Dolphins are a guaranteed win.
Yeah,
I think.
So
That's 4 wins. That's 4 wins.
I'm talking about for the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots schedule.
Now, in the past, Miami always had the Patriots number in Miami.
I think that was Tom Brady in his own head. Honestly, I do. I picked Miami the first week, and they handled Miami easily.
I did too, but they played in New England, where they are.
That's true. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
the Dolphins again towards the end of the season. So I'm just saying they have a lot of winnable games. That's why I put them at 10-6. As to go for you, I don't think Belichick is changing the way of coaching. He's just trying to add a new dynamic that he's never had to it before, which is a mobile quarterback. You know what I mean? Because
okay, I'll ask you the same thing I asked Danny. Was that the right play call?
At the end of the game, absolutely not.
Okay. I have rarely seen a more blatant fumble of a play
but that is
that Belichick has called.
But that is
it was so like, oh my God, why did he do that?
Hold on, let me hear what Danny said. What do you mean?
Yeah, go ahead, Danny.
Because when a coach calls a crazy play and it works, oh, he's a genius. I want to see that, but it's fantastic. He's a genius. When he fucks up and it doesn't go to plan, then that was a dumb coach. That was a dumb coach. That was a dumb move. So that's kind of subjective. Because that's had old boy in the Super Bowl, Seahawks. That'd have been their second Super Bowl. The Legion of Boom would not have broken up. They would have probably started some kind of dynasty, 3-peat, 4-peat, whatever the case may be. But because that happened, everybody blamed Pete Carroll, Richard Sherman the first. You dumbass. You didn't want Marshawn Lynch to get the ball and be the MVP of the game, and then it cost him. So I think if a coach makes it, if the play works, he's a genius. If it doesn't, he's a dumbass.
You see, and I kind of understand where you come from with that, but I disagree with that, because even if that play would have went through, I would have been like, but why do you pass it? Like, yeah, he got the play, but why do you make that play? You're on the 1-yard line. You got a running back who is running through a whole team. You put the game on his back, right? And I think that's what Belichick tried to do in New England's game. But again, you got to understand that Cam Newton hasn't played for almost a year, right?
I know, and I wonder how much of that was Cam Newton maybe making that call. I don't know. But
audible. If I remember the play, I'm not sure if there was an audible at the beginning of the play. I'm trying to remember. I'd have to go back and watch a replay of that. But it's definitely possible that could have happened as well, you know?
All right, guys. I wrote down everybody's predictions, so I will save it, and we'll probably revisit this question at the end of the year when the season's over.
That we do on Square, just to let you guys know that on Square One we do our picks of all the games, and I'm leading in that category. Just
that's fine. That's because I'm not there, so that's besides the point.
Let me see that.
Yes, look again. I am leading, Danny. I am leading.
All right. Well, with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and we're going to end this show today. I appreciate y'all coming. We're going to go ahead and go around and tell you where we are from and who we are and where you can find us. We'll start with you, Anzo, this time while Danny checks his numbers. Go ahead.
That's okay. I got them up for him, so I will just put it on record. Matt is 21-11. Roberto is 22-10. Danny is 23-9, and I am 24-8.
Oh my God, he is bragging about one game.
know.
One.
That's not a big difference right now. You guys are all separated by like a few games, so that's good though.
It's the lead. That's all I'm saying. Is I know it's early.
The only reason why you have a lead is because I'm not there. My picks with my work, I'm currently in first, the like 500 people. With
but even if you were on, you wouldn't
30 and I have to go back and look tomorrow. Wait, what's today? Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow I gotta make my picks. So,
did you say 30? You have 30 wins?
I have to go back and look because I can't get onto it here. It's
because then you would be 30-2.
No, I lost 2 in the first week and I lost 1 this past week, so 29 then.
But that remains to be seen. I have to see that. You could just say that shit. You know what I mean?
Could.
Yeah, right.
I'll have to have a printout of it. So,
but anyways, you guys know where to find me. It's Biggaford Entertainment. Check out the channel anytime you want to. We got the Rule of 3, Chaotic Conversation, the Chaotic List, Rob Storms, Square One, Equilibrium. There are a lot of shows that we try to do and try to entertain you guys. And I noticed someone in the comment put a little yawn when we were talking about sports. And I'm like, sorry if you don't like the sports talk. But, I mean, we like everything here. We like real talk. We like sports talk. We like pop culture talk. So check us out. You'll find something you'll like on anyone's channel.
That's right. Danny, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found.
Yeah, what do you say? Ditto.
Okay. I'm Chris Knight. This is The Real Review 3000 and Chaos Central. You can find me over here on Wednesday nights with the Chaos crew. And on Monday nights, we're over on Danny Graham's channel for the Chaotic Conversation. On Tuesday nights, down on Anzo's channel for the Chaos List. And, of course, this is the Rule of 3. We all have our own channels, our own stuff on there. Guys, check everything out. Remember, you don't have to do it all at one time. They are replayable. So it's the important thing. But with that said, guys, thank you for being here tonight, guys. I really enjoyed this conversation. And we look forward to next week, starting on Monday, for the Chaos Central shows. So, guys, take it easy. Everybody, say goodbye.
Peace.
Bye.